Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to break down exactly how an API gateway like Kong manages and protects your backend services. We're talking about turning potential chaos into clean, controlled access.
So let's say you've built this amazing suite of microservices. That's great. But the problem is, each one is now basically an open door into your system. So how do you secure all of them? How do you apply the same rules everywhere? Pretty soon, just keeping track of everything becomes a massive headache.
Well, the solution is to stop trying to guard every single door individually. Instead, what you do is you hire one single, highly trained, and super efficient doorman for the main entrance. And that's your API gateway. From this point on, nobody gets in or out without going through them first.
We're going to break this down into two main parts. First, we'll look at the one-time setup. You can think of this as hiring and training your doorman. And then we'll dive into what happens in real time, every single time a visitor or, an API request shows up at that front door.
Okay, first up, let's get that front door set up. The whole goal here is really simple. We want to close all the side entrances, all the back alleys, and make sure everyone comes through one single public-facing entrance. Let's say these are your internal services. Right now, every single one of them is individually exposed. That means you have to worry about security and logging and access control for each and every one of them. It's just messy. And right here, this is the first huge win. As soon as Kong is in place, the outside world doesn't see that messy collection of internal addresses anymore. All they know about is one clean, secure entry point. Everything else is completely hidden from view, just as it should be.
So our doorman is at the front door, which is great, but they don't actually have any instructions yet. We need to give them a rule book, a really clear set of directions that tells them exactly where to send every single person who arrives.
The first thing we do is define a service. Now, this is just a nickname that Kong uses to refer to one of your real backend APIs. Think of it like putting a label on a door inside the building, maybe something like Records Department, which points to your actual service at HTTP internal-API. Next up, we create routes. These are the specific instructions for our doorman. A route basically says, hey, if someone asks for the records department and they want to add something, send them down this specific hallway. It's that simple. And this is where it all just clicks into place. We can create one beautiful, simple public URL like api.mycompany.com/records. But behind the scenes, Kong's intelligently routing the request based on the action. So a post request to that URL goes to the add record service, but a delete request goes to the delete record service. The user, they never even need to know the difference.
And for all you architects watching, this is how you'd phrase it. You're not just redirecting traffic here. You're designing a clean, logical, unified API for the entire outside world, and you're abstracting away all that internal complexity.
Okay, routing is all set up. Now, this is where the real magic happens. We're about to give our doorman a whole set of incredible superpowers using things called plugins.
These are the classics, right? Authentication, that's like checking an ID badge. Rate limiting is basically crowd control, making sure the lobby doesn't get dangerously overcrowded. Logging, well, that's the security guard's logbook. And transformation is kind of like a concierge who can tidy up a message before it's delivered.
And this quote just brilliantly illustrates the whole point. Instead of trying to hire a separate security guard for every single office in your building, you put one highly skilled team right at the front door. This keeps your backend services clean, lean, and focused only on their core job.
All right, the setup is complete. Our doorman is trained, they're equipped with superpowers, and they're standing by at the front door. So now, let's follow a single API request from start to finish and see what happens.
So what does this journey actually look like in real time? A client request arrives at Kong. The gateway instantly matches it to the correct route, runs all the necessary security checks through plugins, and only then does it forward the request to the correct backend server. Once that server responds, Kong might do a final check before sending the answer all the way back to the client. And this all happens in milliseconds.
Let's really see those plugins in action. What if a visitor shows up with a fake ID? Well, Kong's authentication plugin spots it immediately, denies entry, and sends a 401 unauthorized error right back to them. And here's the really crucial part. Your backend services, they were never disturbed. They were completely protected, totally unaware that an unauthorized attempt was even made.
In technical terms, what this is called is being a reverse proxy. Once our doorman has validated a visitor's credentials, they become a trusted intermediary,
personally escorting that legitimate request to the correct internal department, or what we call the upstream service.
So let's put this all together. How would you explain this entire system in a nutshell, say to your team or your boss? Let's get that quick architect's view.
So here it is, the essential takeaway. It's really a three-step process. You register your services, you define the public routes to reach them, and then you attach these powerful policies using plugins. From that moment on, Kong basically acts as the brain for all your API traffic, enforcing every single rule before a request ever even touches your backend code.
And that's really how an API gateway works. By centralizing all of that complexity, you've not only made your system way more secure and reliable, you've actually freed up your developers to stop worrying about all those boilerplate tasks and start focusing on what they do best, building incredible services. So the only question left is, what are you going to build next?